Make the green light is on. And as folks, did it just go to the red light? Are we still ticking? What is the okay, we're good. And if you notice above the gentleman to my right, his above his head is Borders Poultry and Supply. I am Rick Godley. This is Jason Penuell, the manager, Borders Poultry and Supply in Choudrant, Louisiana. And he brought a part-time assistant. Jason, good morning. Who'd you bring?
I brought Paige Kirksey, excuse me. She is the face of our frontline hardware department. She deals a lot with the walk-in customers.
Awesome. Well, Paige, how are you? Good morning. Let me hear. Oh yeah, I should put my headphones on to make sure we're actually hearing what we should be hearing. Paige, how are you?
I am good.
You are good, but I am not hearing you. Did I not plug you in? Let me check and see. You are good. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No. And that is just a little bit of a frustrating thing for me, but you're coming through our microphone, so that's good. So let's continue here. Jason, Borders Poultry and Supply, new member of the Ruston-Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. You and I got to meet one another a little bit back during that auspicious time, Choudrant High School Aggie Baseball. You sponsored that. They won a state champion. Not too proud in Choudrant, man. It is awesome. It is neat to, I know, here, this is what we can do. You take this, I'll go back to this here, and we are set and ready here. So tell us about Borders.
Borders was founded in 1989 in Center, Texas, and it's founded by Mr. Fred Borders and his wife, Linda. And as a grower themselves, they saw a need to be fulfilled in supplying the poultry industry. And it grew to a Nacogdoches store, and this year we opened the Louisiana store. Well, they came into Louisiana, and the first thing they noticed in Choudrant is there is no hardware. And Mr. Fred and his daughter, Miss Kim, and her husband, Rob, said, we need to put hardware in Choudrant also. Mm-hmm. Not just commercial poultry supply, but hardware also for the community. Because Mr. Fred, he's a wonderful man. He's known nationwide in the poultry industry, but without meeting him, it's hard for me to explain how good of a man he is.
Well, and you mentioned the headquarters, Center, Texas, have been in business for decades as well.
Correct.
A family-owned operation, that means it's an American-owned operation. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But let's come back to, it says Borders Poultry and Supply, and you led off with hardware. So you literally are multi-dimensional.
We are multi-dimensional. We have everything from plumbing to electrical. We even have RV stuff. If somebody in the area needs some parts for their RVs, we have some RV stuff to help them out. I mean, we're just I guess you could say a hodgepodge of everything.
What I like about it too, for those who are maybe Choudrant challenged, and what I mean by that is they have not driven down Highway 80 in a while to recognize that there is no more blinking light there. It is a four-way stop sign, but it's a brand new building on the left side heading east on Highway 80, a bright red building, and a major investment too, and that speaks well for Borders. So, you know, I mean, they don't just pull into any town and set up shop. They obviously do some analysis, and
they do. They look at the whole picture before they come in. We are the chore time representative for the state of Louisiana. He has the chore time contract to supply all of chore time's products. And they've been doing it out of Center, but it grew so much they said, oh, well, we need to move over here. And just one thing rolled into another, and it became its own little store. And you know, we're getting a lot of support from the community, which is good.
Well, not only the community as well, but the region, and now on into other states. Explain, Jason Penuell, our guest here, Borders Poultry and Supply. For those watching, the link is in the description down below for people to process an order. Explain why Mississippi and points further out are calling for your services and supplies.
They're calling us because we have American-made supply, which is a real big issue right now with supplies coming from other countries. We don't have any limits on our orders. You can order as much as you want, as much as you need, I can get it for you. So it's all American-made, and we also are going to take care of our customers and deliver what you need.
Now, not only on the the poultry supply and livestock feed, you're talking about mechanical as well. Explain a little bit on that.
Well, on the commercial poultry end, there's a lot of, you have feed systems, field systems, you have electrical motors, you have pulleys, belts. There's so much I could go into. But our supply, Mr. Fred believes in making sure we have plenty of supply. And he is not scared to say, let's do this to keep the customer supplied.
Sure enough. This is Borders Poultry and Supply. We're living in a day and age. Jason Penuell, the manager there. It seems like everybody's crying out for employees, now hiring, now hiring. You show up this morning, you say you have Paige Kirksey with you, part-time. Explain how that went, and then we're going to put Paige on the spot and ask her to name all the product lines in the store. No, explain how that process, because obviously you're very proud of her.
We had one of our employees, Reggie, who came up sick. He was sick, and we had a job going on. So Cody Kinley, our outside salesman and serviceman, had to leave to go to the job, and running the store by yourself it can get overwhelming. And so I went through the resumes, I called Paige, she said yes, she was there in an hour, and she has hit the floor running since then.
Awesome. Well, Paige, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course, my name's Paige. I started working for Borders Poultry, say, about a month or two ago. And usually I don't enjoy going to work, but I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, yes, it's time to go to work, because I really love working there.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know why, I like working there. It's relaxing, satisfying.
Well, are you from Choudrant?
I am. I
And
actually
you
live
too
in
as well?
Choudrant.
So, I mean, it's a neat community. It's always been a neat community, and so there's efforting there. There's a difference between enjoying what you do versus work. You know what I mean? So if I'm hearing you correctly there, Paige, I enjoy going in because not only do you meet, greet, but you're problem solvers, friends and family in the community. Am I right? What's the most craziest question you ever got from somebody who walked in there and say, do you happen to have...
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I've had people call up there asking me, like, hey, do you have this thingy majigger? And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I can go check.
Right.
That's when she hands the phone to us.
There you go.
I'm still learning.
And how much are thingamajigers going on? No, you're right. I mean, but that's, people know. How about you, Jason? What is, I guess, the leading thing that people order from Borders Poultry and Supply, and maybe the more unique thing that you have that people are very surprised? Wow, I'm so glad you have that.
RV stuff is the one they're really surprised about.
Really?
They'll walk in there and they'll say, oh, my sewer hose broke on my RV, and I'll say, well, it's right around the corner, it's right there on the end cap, and they'll go and we have the parts to repair the hoses. We have slide grips. We have just a whole little section right there.
Right.
And as for the other stuff, there's so many. Electrical motors right now are a big mover because of the heat.
Right.
And we can supply any motor for commercial, or if you have a fan that's keeping a dog kennel cool or keeping your shop or warehouse cool, we have motors, blades, and pulleys for that also. So don't just throw it away. You can fix it. And we can help you, teach you how to do it too.
Well, either do it yourself, the DIY, but I would dare say that maybe Borders is also becoming a hub of information and a networking of other people helping other businesses.
Correct.
So Borders Poultry and Supply. Jason Penuell, Paige Kirksey here in the studio, new members of the Chamber of Commerce, and this is part of a feature that we are doing with them, a little spotlight. Let's go back a little bit. You mentioned native Choudrant. What is a person from Choudrant called? A Choudrantite, a Choudranter, a Choudrant...
Them Aggies.
Oh, them Aggies. I like them Aggies.
Yeah.
I know that. But you've been on national television. Brag about that. Why?
I was raised, when I was in school, was in FFA from 7th grade to 12th grade. Doug Perry, who teaches at Choudrant, I actually was going to Simsboro then, so don't hate me, Choudrant. He was my ag teacher, and now he teaches my kids. So, and he's always saying, well, your dad did this by then, so
right.
Tries to encourage my kids to move up.
Right. Well, what? Tell us about rising to national prominence in television. What did you do to get there?
They were just taking us at the National FFA convention and was trying to get some insight from the local chapters, and I just happened to get picked because I was on a public speaking team and I was not scared to get in front of the camera. And so that's just how it wound up.
Cool.
They said, "You TV now."
Well, and you're part of a tradition, I would dare say, of FFA in Choudrant, Louisiana. I mean,
it's an exceptional organization.
It is, and it's one of those that if you're not aware of it, it's under the radar, but it's very vital.
It is.
Explain.
The FFA teaches all aspects of living. You have leadership, you have mechanical, you have livestock. There's different facets of it, but the main drive is to create future leaders and to be able to lead the next generation so that they can become leaders. And I love the FFA so much. I have so many fond memories and so much knowledge that I gained through them.
Awesome. So folks, for those watching this now, if FFA is not in your school, do what you can, and then call Choudrant, because obviously it's one of the leading programs in the state of Louisiana. Am I right? As far as FFA?
Yes.
Paige, were you a member?
I was not, and I did not go to Choudrant either.
Oh. Where did we go?
I went to West Washita High School. I graduated last year, but I was in ROTC for 4 years.
Got it.
So I don't want Choudrant hating on me now.
No, that won't happen. We no haters here. As a matter of fact, I am so grateful for Choudrant because nobody knows where Calhoun begins or ends, but we definitely know where Choudrant begins or ends. So that's the buffer against Calhoun's sprawl. No, I'm kidding. All right. Well, listen, Borders Poultry Supply of Louisiana, in Louisiana, headquartered in Choudrant, the village of Choudrant. Jason Penuell, Paige Kirksey here. What can we possibly say this morning to make your life and the business grow and prosper even more?
Just come see what we have. I mean, there's so much that I can't list over the radio, and we have things that you may not think that we would even have, but we do have a lot of that stuff. And we get people that come in all the time. I did not know you had that.
Right.
So just come by, check us out, call us 436-3700. We'll answer the phone anytime. So if you need us, just call us, just come by. I'll have coffee for you.
Unlike me, I didn't have coffee for you. I mean, it's all good. By the way, it's exit 93 off of I-20. You want to head south down through the village, turn right on Highway 80, and maybe a half a mile on the right?
Half a mile corner of Pipes Road and Highway 80.
Awesome. Well, Jason, I appreciate your time. All the best to you, and Paige as well. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, help us help them. You know what to do. Take the visuals and push it out on the platform as promoting all the good things we have here in ATL, all things Lincoln,